Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to this other edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime, an edition that is going to be looking at an effort that has been made by Cameroonians living in the diaspora as they put their heads together to look for ways to bring peace in Cameroon. We are going to be discussing about a grand dialogue organized by diaspora and Cameroonians out there in Europe to look for ways of bringing Cameroonians, brothers and sisters, and also discussing some of the problems bringing a divide amongst Cameroonians. We are going to be having the organizers of this major dialogue that is going to be organized out there with one of the participants at the dialogue who is still in Cameroon in the person of Paddy Asanga. They're going to be telling us the motivations behind this move and also what they seek to attain at the end of the conference. We are glad to be with Paddy Asanga in the studio with me as he tells us what he is going to be telling Cameroonians out there. Good evening and welcome.
Yes, good evening, Kum Leonard, good evening, my Media Prime, and good evening to all your televiewers and those of my friends who are out there in the diaspora listening to me right now. To me, it's an honor and a privilege to come on your platform and to talk about so much, a topic that is so important to us as Cameroonians within and without our countries, or those who are living in Cameroon and those who are living out of Cameroon. And as you already planted the decoration, you should not forget that I was a member of the Grand National Dialogue. I was a participant at the Grand National Dialogue. And I also was a participant and also a member of the follow-up committee that was put in place. And, you know, Cameroonians have a way that the system has a way that is functioning, and we think that we should not only expect our country to give us something, but we can also take initiatives to bring Cameroonians together so that we can look for ways, other strategies, rather than what has failed before, to make sure that we bring people together, bring people on the table. And as they said, that the national dialogue is a process. That process, we want to continue that process out there in the diaspora. And I'm very, very glad that we are going to be having some of those people who are out there in the diaspora who are responsible for the organization. And I'm also proud and happy that I will be I'll be chairing one of the committees, which is the Committees for Reconciliation, and that comes in a long light with what I have been doing, thanks to late Cardinal Tumi, thanks to one of my mentors, also late Chairman Fungi. And we are going to continue working in their shoes, bringing Cameroonians together, looking for solutions, because one thing that we all agree is that things are not moving well in our country, and we cannot expect a government that has not succeeded to bring Cameroonians together to keep on doing the same mistake and expecting different results. So we should come out with other initiatives which are not governmental. Remember that the Anglophone General Conference was highly supported and endorsed. And I think this group of persons who took up this initiative, talking about Cameroonians in the diaspora, talking to themselves, there are some of those people who have been touched to the core by what is happening in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. And we want to try to make sure that we call everybody who thinks he or she is a stakeholder and is interested in the future of this country, that we meet in the diaspora, we meet in Paris. Paris is very symbolic. It's a very symbolic milieu that was chosen because Paris is the heart of France. And you want to also understand that after the major national dialogue, Mr. Biya said he was going to France, or he went to France and give an account to Macron. So we want to tell Macron to also where the limitations and why things are not yet the way we hoped that they should be. And this is a Cameroonian initiative by Cameroonians for Cameroonians, and it's a bunch of NGOs, associations, village groups that have come together.
Okay, Paddy, thank you. Thank you. We also are going to be discussing with Mr. Banameck Bienvenu, who is an investment analyst. He's the president of the committee charged with the organization of this dialogue for diasporans for Cameroonians in the diaspora. Monsieur Banameck Bienvenu, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Allô, monsieur Luc. Bonsoir.
Oui, bonsoir. Bonsoir.
C'est Claude. Voilà.
Oui, bonsoir, Claude. Oui, Claude Cagne.
Okay, this is Monsieur Claude. Okay.
Je vous écoute.
Okay, Monsieur Claude Lekanye, who is a journalist working out there in the diaspora. Good evening. We're glad to have you.
Bon.
Hello? Hello?
Allô?
Yes, Mr. Banameck Bienvenu, who is an investment analyst. I'm told he's online. Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, sir. And good evening, everyone who is following your time. Yeah. My name is Banameck Bienvenu, and I'm a Cameroonian living in France. I'm living in England and France. I have my family in France, but I'm living in France as well.
Okay, Mr. Luc Bienvenu, you people, you are the president of the committee charged with the organization of this dialogue, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, we want to get the reasons behind the organization of this dialogue for diasporans Cameroonians.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to let Cameroonians
if the other person is there.
Why we are organizing this dialogue. It's very simple. We need to unite Cameroonians, and we need to give value to Cameroonians living in the diaspora. That's how we summarize the thing like that. Unite, value, giving value to the diaspora.
Bienvenue. You want to give value. I know you would love to express yourself in French, and feel free to do so that you can tell Cameroonians better what is happening. Est-ce qu'on peut bien comprendre les motivations? Est-ce que ce n'est qu'une rencontre pour donner, pour donner une valeur aux Camerounais qui vivent à l'extérieur?
Voilà, donc moi je vais un peu expliquer la genèse de l'idée.
D'accord.
Oui, merci. Nous avons participé à Yaoundé en 2019. On a trouvé que c'était une bonne expérience parce que lorsqu'on dialogue avec l'autre, on transforme l'animosité en allié. Et c'est très important. Donc, en tant que la diaspora aujourd'hui camerounaise, on ne peut pas comprendre comment elle est très riche en individualité, mais en collectivité, elle est pauvre. Cela veut dire quoi? Cela veut dire que lorsqu'on est tout seul, on excelle, mais lorsqu'on est ensemble, on bloque. Donc, lorsqu'on est ensemble, souvent ça produit. Or, lorsqu'on est individuellement, ça peut produire pour avancer une société. C'est la raison pour laquelle cette expérience qu'on a vécue à Yaoundé, qui nous a fait donc la valeur du dialogue, on peut reproduire cette expérience dans la diaspora, permettre aux Camerounais d'être ensemble et faire des choses formidables pour le développement du Cameroun. Voilà un peu la genèse de l'idée.
Bon, dialogue, c'est entre qui et qui? Qui a animosité entre qui? Allô? Can you tell Eli to fix that? Yes, Paddy Asanga, when I get what he's saying, he says that he left the 2019 major national dialogue that took place in Cameroon, and he's noticed that individually Cameroonians are excelling, but when it comes to working as a group, there is a problem. What is the problem with Cameroonians working together?
Leo, when you live in the diaspora and you observe the political climate here in Cameroon, you come to the conclusion that Cameroonians are fighting themselves, and some of them have declared that they are not Cameroonians, and then you have this stigmatization, some calling themselves Tontinas and others calling themselves Sardinas, and the Cameroonian diaspora has never been so divided or divisive as of since 2000 and let's say 2016 or 2017. And when you take stock of all that, you want to go back to the times where we used to have Challenge Cameroon, where you have all Cameroonians coming from London to converge maybe in Berlin or maybe in Paris, maybe in one city. But the political atmosphere has been so hostile and polluted to the extent that Cameroonians need to talk to themselves. Don't forget that Cameroonians are fighting themselves abroad. Some people have declared themselves, they say, okay, if you have a different political opinion, you would be attacked. If you are not of my own political opinion, you would you cannot perform in Paris or in Brussels or wherever. So those things are there. Those are realities that we have taken stock of, and thanks to that, we said, okay, we should look for ways and means for Cameroonians to talk to themselves and find out where the problem actually is. Don't forget also that, Mr. Leo, these issues that we have in the northwest and southwest region, it's been financed by the diaspora to let's say 80%. And I think that it is a laudable initiative to find ways and means to call these people to come to the table, since they said they wanted a dialogue out of Cameroon. And when we are meeting in Paris, Paris is not in Cameroon, and some of them say no, they cannot come to Cameroon because they are afraid and so on. See if all these people are actually sincere and honest about having a frank national dialogue. I think Paris is a neutral place. They should come and let us sit down together.
Are you talking on behalf of the government? Because the problem is the government. When you organize something in Paris and you expect people to come and dialogue, are you representing the government there?
I must not represent the government to be able to take initiative where the government has failed. I am a citizen of this country, and I'm part of that initiative, which I think is a laudable initiative. And I have been crisscrossing this country since a long time ago, and I know what is happening here in Cameroon, and I also know what is happening in the diaspora. So with or without the government, Cameroonians should be talking to themselves. Cameroon is not only the government, Cameroon is also those who are not part of the government. And you want to understand that this initiative is not only from people who are like myself from the opposition. No, there are people who are part of the government, or who belong to the ruling party. There are people of the MRC, SDF, and UPC, Cameroonians of all shades of opinion. And you also have clergy people who are living in the diaspora who will be coming to put their own, give their own contribution. We should not always expect that good initiatives should come from the government that most of us are criticizing all the time. And you want to also understand that we find ourselves, Cameroonians, in and out of this country because of the fact that we have always had this tendency of boycotting what is not organized by us or what we deem not important to us, which doesn't reflect the way we think. But the time has passed for us to walk in that light. So it has come to the time where we have to prepare ourselves and say that elections are coming. What is the future of Cameroon? Can we talk to ourselves? Can we have a common front? Can we find a peaceful methodology to affront the different, our political differences, our religious differences, and all the differences that is reigning with us?
Bienvenue is there. Monsieur Banameck, I'm glad that you're back. I was asking you, people are dialoguing, les gens se dialoguent entre eux. But in this case, you are dialoguing with who? There is animosity between who and who?
Attendez, je n'ai pas entendu parce qu'il y avait un appel qui a coupé. S'il vous plaît, pouvez répéter la question?
Oui, j'ai demandé que, bon, c'est un dialogue entre qui et qui. Il y a animosité entre qui et qui, puisque c'est une rencontre des Camerounais.
Effectivement, moi je suis dans la diaspora, ça va faire 42 ans. J'ai grandi, je peux dire que j'ai grandi dans la diaspora. J'ai une partie de ma vie, j'ai vécu une partie en France, une partie en Angleterre, j'ai vécu un peu dans beaucoup de pays. Et lorsque je fais un peu cette expérience-là, je remarque qu'avant, les Camerounais étaient unis. Moi, quand je suis venu très jeune, nous étions unis, mais depuis un certain nombre d'années, les Camerounais sont divisés. Notamment, soit ils sont divisés par région, soit ils sont divisés par ethnie. Et ça, ce n'est pas bon pour le développement et pour le futur du Cameroun. Et nous pensons qu'il faut que des Camerounais de bonne volonté s'associent pour qu'on inverse cette tendance. Et pour inverser cette tendance, il faut dialoguer, il faut discuter. Et parce que c'est pour le bien du pays, ce n'est pas pour le bien personnel, parce que nous allons passer et puis d'autres vont arriver. Et donc, discuter entre Camerounais, et discuter entre Camerounais, ça veut dire que qu'est-ce que vous pensez, qu'est-ce que je pense, est-ce qu'on peut trouver un terrain d'entente ou qu'on continue de l'avant pour le bien du pays? Voilà un peu le problème. Parce qu'on a vu le summum de cette division dans les années 2018-2017, où les Camerounais se battaient entre eux dans les rues, par exemple, à Paris. Et ça, ce n'est pas une belle image pour le pays. Et donc, nous pensons qu'il ne faut pas que des choses comme ça puissent se reproduire et ça ne peut pas augurer un bel avenir. C'est pour ça que nous essayons, ensemble avec d'autres Camerounais, du nord au sud, de l'est à l'ouest, un peu partout, de faire en sorte que ça ne puisse plus se reproduire. Voilà un peu.
Oui, mais dans le document que j'ai ici devant moi, vous parlez de, c'est pas, regardez le vivre ensemble entre francophones et anglophones. Qu'est-ce que vous allez vous dire là-bas?
S'il vous plaît, vous pouvez répéter la question parce qu'entre-temps, il y a des appels de dimanche. Oui.
Oui, je vous demandais que quand je vois le document que j'ai ici devant moi, parmi d'autres choses que vous allez regarder, il y a aussi ce pan pour regarder le vivre ensemble entre francophones et anglophones. Nous savons que nous vivons la crise anglophone. Qu'est-ce que vous allez vous dire pendant cette grand dialogue des Camerounais de l'extérieur?
Effectivement, les problèmes du pays nous touchent à cœur, même à 6000 km. Et notamment, le problème nord-ouest et sud-ouest. Et donc, effectivement, nous allons en parler, mais nous allons en parler de telle sorte que nous demandions à nos compatriotes qui viennent de ces régions est-ce qu'ils ont une solution pour résoudre le problème? Parce qu'il faut d'abord qu'eux-mêmes donnent une solution. Et nous pouvons maintenant ensemble trouver une solution d'ensemble pour eux. On propose cette solution à ceux qui sont de droit pour résoudre le problème. Parce qu'il faut d'abord demander aux gens qui viennent de dire quelle est la solution selon vous. Et c'est à partir de là maintenant qu'on peut voir comment résoudre le problème. Parce que si vous amenez une solution qui ne correspond pas à la solution voulue par les gens, généralement, il y a toujours échec. C'est pour ça que ça va consister à qu'est-ce que les Camerounais venant de ces régions pensent, qu'est-ce qu'ils proposent. Parce qu'il faut qu'ils proposent quelque chose. Et ils proposent quoi? Une fois que cette proposition est mise sur la table, maintenant, comme on est en train de dialoguer, on va trouver une solution des Camerounais, de l'extérieur, de tous les Camerounais, et ainsi de suite, on va proposer cette solution, que ce soit au gouvernement, que ce soit aux autorités locales, que ce soit aux partis d'opposition. Ce sera une solution vraiment de la diaspora. Voilà un peu ce que nous n'avons pas une solution toute faite. C'est à l'issue de cette discussion que nous allons proposer quelque chose.
Êtes-vous mandaté par le gouvernement? Is the government behind what you are doing? And from the 9th to the 10th of December, this session is going to be taking place out there in Paris, the French capital. Now, have you reached out to those Anglophones who are carrying arms today?
Yeah, we don't have any help from the government.
Okay.
We send some letters to let them know we are organizing something in Paris. We send the letters to our ambassador. We send to some minister in Yaoundé, and to let them know we are doing something in Paris, because we are not doing something against Cameroon. We are doing something for Cameroon, for the benefit of Cameroon. That's why we send a letter of information to let them know we are doing something in Paris. Now, when we are doing something in Paris, we haven't got any money from them. We never asked any money. But if we have some help, we not refuse, because it's our country. But we don't have any help from the government. We are using the help of different Cameroonians who are sending us some donation to help to try to get a good dialogue in Paris.
Okay. But now, when you talk about the need to discuss about the Anglophone crisis, you say you are going to ask from the Anglophones how they think this problem could be solved. Which Anglophones are you addressing yourself to? Just any Anglophone, or those who are stakeholders to the conflict that is ongoing?
Me, I think, asking to any Anglophones, even if you are not coming in Paris, you have your idea. You can send your contributions, intellectual contributions. Send me, I'm seeing how we can sort out the problem. They will be taken in account, because every donation, every contribution will be taken in account. That's why when we send a contribution, we will stock it in our database, but we will make analyze. If, for example, different people give the same solutions, it's a good thing than one person. You understand? That's why in Paris, it's not only those who will be in Paris, but even you are in America, you are in Singapore, or you are in Kuwait City, send your contributions, and we will take it in account and make it in our database, and let you know in the future you count Cameroon. Because it's very important, everyone had to contribute, everyone had to contribute to sort out the problem. But the solution has come as well, the people coming from that end. So they have their solution, but we don't know why. Because I can give you one example. I have my cousin who lived from there, who went to America. When they were telling me about the problem in the 90s, I never know. I never knew there's a problem. You understand? That's why I think we have to ask first what your solutions. And now they give us. Now we say, okay, we have the same problem. Maybe in other countries, this sort of like and the problem be sorted.
Parmi les anglophones, Monsieur Luc, il y a les séparatistes qui veulent l'indépendance des régions du nord-ouest et du sud-est. Est-ce que vous les avez contactés? Est-ce qu'ils seront là? Et est-ce que vous attendez de vous donner ce qu'ils attendent du gouvernement?
Bon, nous avons contacté tout le monde parce qu'à travers Paddy qui parlait tout à l'heure, il nous a aidé à contacter beaucoup de compatriotes dans du nord-ouest, du sud-ouest. On a contacté tout le monde et la porte est ouverte pour tout le monde. Maintenant, nous ne sommes pas ceux qui veulent diviser le Cameroun parce que le Cameroun, nous pensons qu'il doit rester un pays uni. Maintenant, si on a des problèmes, on doit les résoudre, on doit s'asseoir pour les résoudre. Mais je ne pense pas que beaucoup de Camerounais sont pour la solution de séparation. Je ne pense pas. Je pense que nous devons travailler pour une solution unitaire. Moi, je ne pense pas qu'avoir des petits pays est une solution pour le futur. C'est avoir des pays plus gros, plus grands, ça donne plus de poids. Et je pense que c'est par là que nous devons tendre. Maintenant, s'il y a des problèmes, essayons de résoudre ces problèmes pour que notre pays soit en paix. Moi, disons que je viens d'une région où moi, je ne connais pas, beaucoup de Camerounais connaissent leur village. Moi, je ne connais pas mon village. Je ne connais pas mon village parce que dans les années 60, il y a eu la guerre là-bas. On a tué tout le monde et mes parents ne sont plus repartis là-bas. Donc, moi, je pense qu'on ne doit pas répéter les mêmes choses tout le temps. On va regarder l'avenir et essayons, nous discutons pour que ces problèmes-là soient derrière nous. Je pense que c'est ce que nous devons faire.
Okay, we should look at this. Now, Paddy Asanga, this is a dialogue. Let's look at because one of the objectives is also to cement the relationship between Francophones and Anglophones, going by the document I have in front of me. Which Anglophones are going to be at that dialogue in Paris?
Every Cameroonian living in the diaspora who is an Anglophone is free, and they have been contacted, they have been invited. Religious groups, private associations, village groups, and so on and so forth. And you want to also understand that we also have our friends who called themselves some time ago that Ambazonian. They too are invited, and they have actually come to the realization that it is time to talk, it is time to take stock. It is time for Cameroonians to look themselves eyeball to eyeball and say, where did I go wrong and how do we move on from here? And that is exactly where we stand. Everybody is not going to be in Paris physically, but we are going to have people also intervening from the US, people intervening from Canada, people intervening from South Africa, people intervening from Nigeria, and so on and so forth. So it is an initiative that is has highly been welcomed by Cameroonians of all shades of opinion. But you also have to understand that there are some people who have their own ideology, that they think that the country should be separated, and not all of them would want to accept. But we go by the theory of the majority, and if the majority of Cameroonians, Anglophone Cameroonians like Francophone Cameroonians, stand up and say, this is where we are going to, and this is our roadmap, this is where we stand, then those people would gradually find themselves in the minority and will have to accept what they call democracy. So democracy is not by the barrel of the gun. Nobody is being forced to come to Paris. I am going to Paris because actually I'm supposed to be in Hamburg on the 1st, on the 2nd, and then the next weekend I will take my bus to Paris, just like to everywhere where I'm invited, and to talk about the state of the nation. Don't misunderstand the fact, you should not misunderstand the fact that I'm also a militant of a political party that aspires to govern this country. And as a militant of a political party, it is a duty and an obligation for me to make sure that we preach by example in the country and out of the country. We should not only criticize. You said, you remember the last time that late Chairman Nijon Frundi and the late Cardinal Tumi, they said, let Anglophones meet anywhere in the world. Some people came and stood on their way, and today they are gone, and we are left like orphans. So, and now this is another initiative that is coming up, and I think that it is not going to be the first, it's not going to be the last. it is something, it is the start of that conversation. And I also learned from Mr. Bia's last Grand National Dialogue that dialogue was a process which has to get, it has several phases. So we think that when Cameroonian Cameroonians, Francophones like Anglophones come together to start talking to themselves, it is a good thing. And if it is something that the government too should look into it to see how can we contain this energy, this positive energy that is coming from the diaspora. You will not forget that, Leo, and I'll keep hammering at this. There are some other people, group of persons who are not separatists, who are also afraid to come to this country. They call themselves the Bas because they think that if they come to this country, they would be arrested because they stormed embassies, they have been attacking artists and so on. They have been going physically violent against other Cameroonians who don't agree with them politically. So we think it is time now to say no, let's talk and find a common ground amongst ourselves.
Okay. I am told that Monsieur Claude Nsungkikang is online with us. He's doctor, it's not a monsieur, sorry for that. Dr. Claude Nsungkikang, who is the president of the Commission for Security and Crisis Management. Good evening, doctor, glad to have you. And my first question to you is, why is this organized now? Why not 2-3 years ago?
La rencontre des Camerounais est organisée ça fait plus de 60 ans, et qu'on voit des Camerounais d'une année à l'autre, ce que nous appelons les Camerounais de la diaspora. Pourquoi c'est aujourd'hui que cette organisation est mise en place? Mais parce que pendant 60 ans, plus pour mobiliser la diaspora. Et très souvent, au Cameroun, quand on parle de la diaspora, on a tendance qui vit du côté occidental. Or, l'autre, notamment sur le sol africain, compose pratiquement. Vous avez des Camerounais, c'est la diaspora. Vous avez des Camerounais au Gabon, à côté, c'est la diaspora, et c'est une extrêmement industrieuse. Les Camerounais du Gabon réalisent énormément de créer des entreprises et de créer des opportunités au Cameroun. Donc, la diaspora n'est pas pour nous seulement personne qui vit en Occident, c'est toute la composante de la population qui a quitté le Cameroun. Qu'elle soit installée sur le sol africain, qu'elle soit en Asie. Nous avons fait une analyse dynamique diaspora pour regarder des pays comme le Kenya, quand vous regardez des pays comme la Tanzanie, vous regardez des pays un peu plus loin sur la façade sud du continent comme le Malawi, et quand vous regardez la façade occidentale du continent, les diasporas des pays comme la Côte d'Ivoire, la Guinée, le Mali, économique. Maintenant, sur le plan du dialogue avec les autorités, diaspora, parce qu'elles sont unies, parce qu'elles arrivent à mettre en place des programmes d'autorité. Ça, c'était le point faible principal de la diaspora camerounaise. Ne pas savoir parler d'une seule voix pour faire des... Et le gouvernement, parce que vous ne pesez pas. La première chose. La deuxième chose, les divisions sont héritées des divisions que nous avons connues à l'indépendance. Et ensuite, on nous a amené une division qui est apparemment linguistique entre et Camerounais. Et c'est ainsi que vous voyez souvent Camerounais anglophones faire des États-Unis, francophones faire des réunions en France, en Allemagne, en Belgique, et ça affaiblit la force camerounais qui pourrait être un corpus extrêmement puissant, extrêmement cohérent. Il n'y a pas de division entre les Camerounais anglophones et les Camerounais. Le but de cette réunion, c'est de faire ce que jamais la diaspora fait auparavant. Qui mettent de côté leurs divisions, qui mettent de côté leurs actes, qui mettent de côté leurs désaccords, qui est important.
Okay.
Voilà, important de le faire maintenant. Merci.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. We'll be coming back to you, but I will go to the Coordinator General, Monsieur Luc B. Banameck. Monsieur Banameck, maintenant, est-ce que quand vous citez le fait que les Camerounais ne marchent pas comme avant, ils sont divisés, est-ce que vous parlez des Camerounais qui sont pro, on appelle d'autres les sardinards et les autres les anti... Non, oui, les sardinards et les tontinards, et il y a la base, il y a tout ce genre de problèmes. Est-ce que c'est aussi de cela qu'on parle?
Moi, je pense que cette division que vous venez d'évoquer, bon, ce sont des épiphénomènes parce que ça ne représente pas la majorité des Camerounais. Donc, nous pensons que ce sont des épiphénomènes dans la mesure où ça a même disparu. Nous pensons que les divisions viennent d'ailleurs. Les divisions, c'est sur le plan, moi, je dirais, économique. Parce que si les Camerounais sont unis, c'est parce que, expliquez-moi comment les Camerounais pris individuellement sont très forts partout et pris collectivement sont faibles. Comment pouvez-vous expliquer cela? Moi, je pense que c'est là-bas qu'il faut regarder plutôt, parce que les autres, c'est les épiphénomènes. C'est bon, c'est momentané, c'est des périodes. Mais le gros, c'est que pourquoi les Camerounais individuellement sont bons à l'extérieur, quand ils sont dans une société, dans beaucoup de domaines, mais puis collectivement, ils sont... D'ailleurs, le docteur Claude Lecaille vient de l'expliquer, les autres communautés qui ne sont pas aussi puissants individuellement font mieux que nous. Et pourquoi? Mais c'est pas, on ne peut pas les accuser, on ne peut accuser personne, on doit s'accuser. Pour s'améliorer, il faut d'abord s'accuser. Moi, je pense que les problèmes sardinards, moi, je pense que c'est pour moi, c'est des épiphénomènes. Bon, ça va passer. Le gros, c'est comment pouvons-nous être ensemble pour que, bon, on puisse avancer le Cameroun. Et moi, je pense que la diaspora camerounaise doit compter dans le développement futur du Cameroun, notamment à travers la STN 30, qui permet au Cameroun d'émerger vers 2035. Et si nous prenons notre part là-dedans, moi, je vous donne un exemple. Est-ce que beaucoup de Camerounais savent qu'il y a un Camerounais, un grand cancérologue comme le Dr Paul Mobi? Il a construit un centre cancérigène à Bonomont, qui est l'un des meilleurs centres de l'Afrique centrale. Il n'y en a pas d'autres en Afrique centrale. C'est un Camerounais de la diaspora. Et puis, beaucoup peuvent faire mieux si les choses sont bien ordonnées en place. Moi, je pense que beaucoup pourront mieux faire.
OK, on pourra mieux faire, mais je reste avec vous, hein, because from what I see, déjà réalisé, contribution au grand dialogue national assistant humanitaire aux compatriotes de l'extérieur, which means that this committee has been existing for some time now, and for how long? And what are some of the achievements realized so far by your committee?
Yeah, we have a lot of realization. We are existing like organization since 2010. Some of them more 2005, some of them 2000. But we teamed together in 2019 before going to the major dialogue in Yaoundé, because we say ourselves, doing only organization by organization, we will be weak in Yaoundé. Therefore, we teamed together to create a committee of Cameroonians living abroad. That's the name we create in 2019. And that organization helps Cameroonians, for example, in France, in other countries, obtain documents of stay, for example. You know, a lot of our compatriots, like in Kuwait, they will seize their passport. When they will seize their passport, they will call us, and we will do like in different embassies, to talk with the embassy to let them know we have to release our compatriots to go back home. We do a lot of things. We have a lot of Cameroonians, for example, to do their passport, because you know today you have to go online to do your passport. where we can help you how to, because everyone don't know how to use a computer. Maybe have Cameroon to do it, their visa. We have about a lot of information. For example, when the survey in Cameroon, when you don't have that information, it's very important to give them that information. We want to do more, but to do more, we need to be together because we don't have a big budget. Our budget is very, very small. And then when you have a small budget, you do small things. When you have a big budget, you do big things. That's why we're trying to be together to have a big budget and realize a lot of things and big things.
Been done already, and you expect everybody has registered, or how are people participating?
Yeah, we at the moment in our database we have registered almost 400 people who want to come, but the place is we don't have a big place to accommodate everyone. We are looking, we think, that's why we put a little money to pay before coming. We have a place who can accommodate 200 people. We have in our database now 400 people who want to come, and we think we will try how to manage to accommodate everyone who want to come. And we are looking different means to sort out that problem, because at the moment it's a problem, because 400 people, we have only a place who can accommodate 200.
Okay. There is going to be a talk on the participation of young people and women in politics. I'll go back to Doctor. Doctor, you think that, I'll start by asking your assessment of how women and the young people in Cameroon are used politically. What is it that you want to achieve through this theme? I see the second theme, participation des jeunes et les femmes. Is Doctor there? Seemingly, Doctor is gone. I don't know whether he's there. It's not there. Paddy Asanga, you guys are organizing this thing. How is this going to? How do you intend to use what you're going to gather there?
Leo, you see, when we came to the Grand National Dialogue, we did not just come as observers. We came in as participants. And owing to the fact that some of the promises that were made is that dialogue is a process, and we have Cameroonians in the diaspora who are afraid to come to this country, and we also have Cameroonians in this country who have been given amnesty. For my own part, and as somebody who is going to be heading one of that commission, the Commission for Reconciliation, I would use the jurisprudence that if people who killed policemen, picked up arms against the state, have been amnestied, then every other person who has not even taken somebody's life, maybe destroyed property, should also be amnestied. It is from this premise that we are coming from, and I would demonstrate in Paris, and in that demonstration, where I will make it very clear that if we want to be fair and we want social cohesion, let's open up even to those people who are living in the diaspora, who done minor offense against the state, which are more, they're even negligible to what some other people have done, and they are moving around freely. Some of them are in the DDR centers. So it is to prove to the government good faith on our part as participant and member of the opposition, and it's also to demonstrate to the international world and to Cameroonians that we are not that kind of revengeful people. We are not out to revenge. We are out to find out where it hurts and then look for lasting and durable solutions to that problem, that specific problem that we have as Cameroonians. Remember, and I keep saying this to anybody who wants to listen, you will never expect everybody to come to the table. There will always be people who will not be satisfied. Leo, as a journalist sitting here, there is somebody who would like to be in your position and that person is not satisfied because you're here. That's why you keep having stones being thrown at you left, right, center. But you are moving on, and the majority of Cameroonians are seeing the work that you are doing, and it is appreciable. So it is the same principle that we are going to apply moving forward when it comes to this dialogue, because the diaspora has been stigmatized. They are only sitting there and making noise. They can't put themselves together. When they are called to come and sit down to talk, they don't agree on anything. No. This time, we understand that at a certain point, we might also have to sit to have a constitutional debate. The majority of Cameroonians in the diaspora, they want the double nationality. They have been doing a lot of things in this country, and they have been pumping money into this country's economy, and it is time for them to talk amongst themselves and come out with strategies, and why not even influence and lobby and influence the lawmakers, those in parliament, to vote laws that will favor them by giving them incentive, by trying to see how they can influence politics in their various localities. You want to understand that, and the lecture is very simple. The lecture comes from the fact that, in every locality that you have Ambazonia, or you have somebody living in a diaspora, that person is an elite in that locality. You will not find any area where people are fighting and there is nobody living in the diaspora in that community. It doesn't happen like that. So it already tells you that the diaspora has a role to play. But the difference with us and other factions of people who are living in the diaspora, it depends on the methodology. They have a very different approach as some of us, as me and my friends like Luke and Dr. Ligne and Mireille and so on. I think that we should use that energy and try to bring in people. Some people have already obtained amnesty, but some are still afraid. Okay. So we think that, Mr. Leo, it is time for us to keep on putting the pressure on the government to look into the situation of the Cameroonian diaspora, and why not the Anglophone crisis that is being sponsored largely from the diaspora. Okay.
Dr. Claude, I hear you are back. We are going to be talking about the participation of young people and women, and that the discussion is going to focus on the importance of the participation of youths and women in the democratic process to encourage them to become great leaders tomorrow. What is the observation you have of the participation of women and young people in the democratic process in Cameroon today? Dr. Claude, est-ce que vous m'avez compris? Hello, doctor. Can you unmute? Can you unmute your computer or whatsoever you are using? We don't get the sound. Can you unmute it, please? Okay, let me put it to Mr. Luc. Monsieur Luc, est-ce que tu es là?
Oui, oui, bien sûr, je vous entends très bien.
Ok, quelle est l'appréciation que vous faites de la participation des femmes et des jeunes dans le processus démocratique du Cameroun?
Nous pensons que les jeunes et les femmes doivent prendre une place importante dans le développement du Cameroun sur tous les plans, sur le plan politique, social et économique. Et pour l'instant, ils n'ont pas la place qu'ils méritent. Donc, c'est la raison pour laquelle nous les appelons à ce qu'ils prennent cette place. Je vous donne un exemple, par exemple, c'est une tautologie. Je vous donne un exemple. En France, tout à l'heure, Fadi parlait de la double nationalité. Est-ce que, bon, selon la loi camerounaise, la femme camerounaise ne perd pas sa nationalité? Mais la femme camerounaise ne perdant pas sa nationalité, pourquoi elle paye le visa pour aller au Cameroun? Pourquoi la femme camerounaise ne prend pas une carte d'électeur pour voter? Donc moi je pense qu'elle ne s'implique pas trop dans disons, le développement du Cameroun. Il faut qu'elle s'implique. La jeunesse ne s'implique pas trop. La femme ne s'implique pas trop. Nous les appelons à s'impliquer dans le développement du Cameroun. C'est la raison pour laquelle cette commission-là est très importante, parce que la jeunesse est l'avenir du Cameroun. Et la femme est la mère de la patrie. Très important.
Okay, so you say their position is not there and you are going to work for them to come in. But in your setup, what is the place of women and the youths in the diaspora? Have you given them their place before expecting the government to give them that place?
No, we are not saying the government have to give them the place. No, we are saying in the society,
okay,
globally,
okay,
place. I mean, in our society, in the diaspora, they haven't got a place. But they haven't got a place because they don't want to take their place. They are out from the equation. They have to get to the equation, take their seat. And the new people have as well to take their seat. You know, usually they don't give you the place. You have to take it with force.
Okay, you have to take it with force. I don't know whether Doctor is back, but I want all of us, three of us, to discuss on this about the fact that most of the diaspora members are very intelligent, they're industrious, but they are serving foreign nations and not necessarily a Cameroon. Are you thinking on ways of engaging the government to make use of these great brains that are serving other nations? Doctor, I don't know whether you're getting me ou il faut que je m'exprime en français. Hello, doctor. Your phone is muted. Can you unmute your phone? Mr. Luc, if you are there, can you come in there so that we talk about this fact? Great brains are out there and they keep going. How do we keep them back here?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Yes, doctor, you can come in.
Allô, vous m'entendez?
Oui, oui, on vous attend. Allez-y.
Voilà, je voudrais dire dans le prolongement, d'abord dans le prolongement de ce que le coordinateur général Luc Banameck a dit tout à l'heure, au sujet des femmes, qu'il ne s'agit pas d'imposer les femmes dans la vie nationale, au plan économique ou au plan politique. C'est de rétablir cette... Dans beaucoup de pays en Afrique noire, voit sa sociologie, notamment par les femmes, exposées à des... ne sont pas suffisamment prises en compte au plan du droit et au plan de la compagnie. Par exemple, on est encore dans un pays où beaucoup de violences sont faites aux femmes. Beaucoup de violences sont faites aux femmes par les maris. Dans beaucoup de commissaires contre les plaintes, il y a toujours raison. Les femmes qui veulent investir économiquement ont des difficultés à mobiliser des financements, être accompagnées par les banques, alors que majorité des cas, dans les familles, femmes qui suppléent l'incapacité de l'homme prendre en charge l'ensemble de la famille. Et introduire des mesures pour obtenir plus d'égalité entre les femmes et les hommes, c'est mieux prendre en compte l'avenir des jeunes Camerounais et ça fait partie des discussions importantes que nous allons avoir lors de la rencontre de Paris. D'autre part, nous nous rendons compte, par exemple, la question pas. Mari meurt sans avoir muté le titre foncier au nom de la femme. La famille Paris vient et expulse la femme. On retrouve souvent beaucoup de mamans de jeunes enfants qui se retrouvent dehors. Les associations dans d'autres pays africains sont mises en place. Juridiquement, l'exemple du vivant soit inscrit sur le titre foncier familial pour que les enfants soient et advenir que le mari décède. Il ne faut protéger les femmes pour qu'elles votent. Et ainsi, les femmes sont mises de côté. Il s'agit de protéger les femmes pour qu'elles soient nos égales et qu'elles s'impliquent dans le développement économique, social et culturel de notre pays. Bien compris et débat à l'échelon de l'ensemble de la collectivité nationale. La réponse que je pouvais apporter pour multiplier depuis l'indépendance les formations à caractère sans âge. Communication. Quand dans d'autres pays, on encourage les jeunes, quand ils ont fait ces formations généralistes, à les compléter par des formations techniques qui leur permettent de travailler immédiatement. D'ailleurs, vous voyez comme moi au Cameroun des jeunes qui sortent avec un master et qui pilotent une moto. Qu'est-ce qu'un jeune qui a un master en chimie a à faire sur une moto, par exemple? L'accompagnement des jeunes va consister dans un premier temps à professionnaliser nos formations, faire en sorte que les formations répondent aux demandes et aux attentes des entreprises pour réduire le chômage des jeunes. La deuxième articulation de notre propos va être de faire en sorte que des mesures financières soient mises en place pour accompagner les jeunes qui sortent de formation à créer des entreprises. Au Cameroun, par exemple, la garantie qu'on apporte pour un financement, c'est le titre foncier. Il y a moins de 10% de moins de 25 ans qui peuvent présenter un titre foncier pour obtenir. Or, pendant que nos jeunes ne peuvent pas investir, des jeunes venus d'autres pays investissent et occupent l'économie camerounaise. Donc là, que nous allons avoir à Paris pour faire en sorte que les femmes et les jeunes aient toute leur place. Je peux dire pour compléter la réponse que notre coordinateur général vous a apporté. Et maintenant, la deuxième partie de votre question portait sur plaidoyer. En fait, nous appelons ça en français le plaidoyer. C'est comment faire en sorte que nos échanges, que nos débats par les autres. Depuis 50 ans, dans la diaspora, des meetings, organisent des réunions sans que ce soit neutre. Eh bien, notre coordinateur général vient de vous dire que pour la indépendance du Cameroun, les diasporas camerounaises fonctionnent en ordre, c'est on ne perd un poids. Les assises de Paris vont changer la donne pour la première fois depuis vous apporter.
Skills. We are talking about a brain drain here, Monsieur. I'll go to Monsieur Luke. I don't know. I hope he's getting me. How do we help this nation? Because we are losing out on many things. Because the best brains, or some of the best brains, are leaving Cameroon for the diaspora because of better pay packages or better conditions out there. Are you also going to be engaging on the government to see how to reduce this brain drain and making conditions better for us to stay in Cameroon and serve this nation? Mr. Luc.
Allô, c'est pour Luc ou c'est pour Claude?
Pour vous deux, pour vous deux.
D'accord.
Je laisse Claude répondre.
Alors, pour la question, c'est, si j'ai bien compris, quelles sont les mesures que nous allons prendre pour faire en sorte que les résolutions de Paris soient prises par le gouvernement. D'une manière générale, c'est ce que j'ai compris de la question. C'est bien ça?
Allez-y, allez-y.
Voilà. Vous savez, très souvent, lorsque nous avons organisé la diaspora au Cameroun et que nous avons échangé avec les autorités, nous avons entendu beaucoup de responsables de la haute administration nous dire que on ne peut pas être à Yaoundé et voir quelqu'un qui vient des États-Unis avec un projet. Le lendemain, il y a quelqu'un qui vient de Bruxelles avec un projet. Le surlendemain, il y a quelqu'un qui vient d'Allemagne avec un projet, en croyant que son projet est le meilleur et que le gouvernement doit lui réserver le meilleur des accueils, alors que dans d'autres pays, les gens viennent ensemble dans le cadre d'une structure organisée pour présenter des projets au gouvernement. Et à ce moment-là, le gouvernement considère qu'il a des interlocuteurs sérieux et qu'il peut mettre en place des dispositifs spéciaux pour les accueillir. Au Cameroun, je tiens déjà à vous dire qu'il y a une démarche qui avait été déjà entreprise dans le cadre d'un dispositif qui s'appelle Diasinvest et qui avait pour but justement d'accompagner les initiatives économiques des Camerounais de la diaspora. Dia créé dans le cadre d'un partenariat avec la France et à travers ta plateforme financière, Agence française, est mis sur la table pour accompagner la mise en place du dispositif Diasinvest. Sur sa articulation, a sélectionné 70 qui ont été formés, accompagnés sur le point d'implémenter la mise en place des activités et les attentes de la diaspora, spécifiquement sur les femmes. Vous serez très étonnés quand je vais vous apprendre. Sont par les statistiques économiques comme le troisième groupe de femmes en Afrique, après les plus de 5000 entreprises formalisées sont le troisième groupe de femmes investisseuses en Afrique noire. C'est extraordinaire. Cela, si les femmes étaient mieux entendues, dans le cadre de un guichet spécifique, les femmes de la diaspora qui viennent investir, les entreprises dirigées par des femmes démultipliées. Les entreprises créées par les femmes parce qu'elles sont moins sensibles. Si un homme reçoit par exemple 1 milliard de francs pour créer une entreprise, peut-être qu'il sera acheter une Mercedes, une femme personnelle, elle sera mettre en place le cœur du projet pour lequel elle a obtenu le financement. C'est pour ça que les conclusions que nous allons porter vis-à-vis nationale, c'est de dire que cette diaspora productive est de contribuer encore massivement à la réalisation du produit intérieur. Elle sera entendue parce qu'elle est sérieuse, parce qu'elle est organisée, parce qu'elle est cohérente et parce qu'elle est...
Okay, thank you. I will stay with you, Monsieur Luc. Talking about the brain drain situation, are you concerned that some of the best brains are serving the UK, France, the United States, Canada, and a host of others? Are you also going to be touching on this?
Yeah, okay. We are in contact with a lot of Americans working around the world. I told you about our compatriots called Dr. Mobit, okay, in America. We know others who are working like Singapore, or in Dubai, in Germany, in England, in Mexico. You know, for example, at the moment, one of our best Cameroonians is trying to open a university called Banco University in Mexico. And we have a lot of compatriots who can do a lot of things in Cameroon. And I think if we are giving each other hands, they will be more stronger in their country and then we bring a law in Cameroon. And we have a database, and we try as well to multiply that database and then use that database for the benefit of our country. Why not working hand to hand with the government to use that database? It's a very rich database. We have a lot of Cameroonians with a lot of skills, working around the world in the best company. And I think it will be beneficial for our country. That's why coming to Paris, in Paris, dialoguing with other Cameroonians will be very important. And I think the best will come out from that, and will be a good thing in the future.
Mr. Luke, are you concerned about the love Cameroonians have for their nation? Have you spoken with them? Many of them, of you guys out there, you are very bitter with Cameroon seemingly not loving the nation as much as you would have wanted to. Are you going to be looking at the sense of patriotism, the need to love the nation irrespective of what is not working well, and how to paint, how to sell the image of the nation out there?
Yeah, of course, most Cameroonian abroad as an ambassador of Cameroon. When you are somewhere, you are an ambassador of Cameroon, culturally or whatever. That's why being abroad is very important. What you are doing in abroad, you have to sell in the best way the image of Cameroon. Like, I think we need to brand the image of Cameroon abroad. And I think that's why we have as well to teach most Cameroonians, when you are abroad, you have to be really an example of the best Cameroonians going out. And that's we talk about that as well in Paris. You know, it's not always a good thing to show the dark way of your country. You know, the dark way of country you can show between us, but to show to other people you know good things. Because you know, like when I work in investment, when you see as investor the country is dark, you know, no money in there. And that's why we try to teach Camerooners as well. You know, when the thing is really deep dark, you have to hide it. Or that doesn't mean don't see it, don't try to sort it out. You have to work on that in order to achieve a good thing from that. I think we have to be an ambassador outside Cameroon.
Okay, you have to be an ambassador outside Cameroon. Paddy, tell me, when you talk with Cameroonians, how much love do they have for Cameroon, and why do we see some of these very hostile videos or images coming from out of the country as if all of you guys who are there did not come from Cameroon?
Listen, Leo, every single Cameroonian that you see out there agitating loves this country to the core. Every single Cameroonian. Our differences in our approaches, we don't have a common front, we don't have a common approach. That's why some have chosen the violent means, some are going through diplomatic means, some are using local political means to enact change, some are positioning themselves as lobby groups, then some people have picked up arms. And don't also forget that there are a bunch of Cameroonian Francophones who believe in an armed struggle in this country, something which is not going to happen because that thing was killed in the yoke. So everybody who is agitating has an interest, loves this country, but their approaches are different. It's like you would say that if you want to cook arrow, some people start by boiling the meat, some people start by doing what, but the truth is that ask anybody who lives out of this country, apart from those who have given up and say, okay, I've chosen to become French and I don't want to have anything to do with Cameroon. Apart from those who have said, I've chosen to become American and I don't want to have anything to do with Cameroon. But everybody who still has a tentacle and iota of interest of this country loves this country, be it an opposition or people who support the regime. Our differences is the approach and the pace of our expectations. So I don't see it as a bad thing that people are agitating, but I think that this energy should be canalized somehow, and then we use it as a political capital to ignite change in a peaceful manner. But at the other hand of it, the furthest journey into somebody or into someone's mind is that journey into his heart. And you will never know exactly what they think in their deepest time when they are reflecting. What is their motivation? But they will tell you that I love my country and I want it to change because things are not working well. Yes, things are not working well and the proofs are there. I just read some document a few weeks ago where the Prime Minister was convening, I think, members of government about the states of the road. Not a few years ago, we had the major national dialogue that was convened. Those are indicators to tell you that things are not moving well, but how do we go about them? Our differences now is in our approach, but to say that people are agitating because they hate Cameroon, they might say they don't like the regime, like somebody like myself. I'll tell you that I don't like this regime. I don't like this Jacobini system of government, but I'm fundamentally a federalist, and fundamentally I love this country. That's why I'll give my all to make sure that there is some kind of social cohesion within and out of the country. I will not be part of those people who think that it is their way or the only way. We have to come to a point where we'll sit down, look ourselves into the mirror, and then we find some middle ground and say, okay, I'm giving this and I'm giving this position away, I'm giving this position away for the sake of a common goal. But if everybody comes on his or her position, then we are going to get ourselves in a situation of stagnation where nothing will be moving, and you will see such violent scenes that you are seeing in the northwest and southwest region. And I want to use this opportunity to send my condolences to the family of this little 11-year-old girl who was brutally murdered in Bamenda, and that she will be buried this weekend. So to me, people fundamentally love their country, but the methodology is different, how they approach it on how to develop the country, how to ignite change, and how to move forward. It's what differentiates us from other groupings. But the truth is that we are all Cameroonians and we love this country.
Okay, you're all Cameroonians. Mr. Luc and Dr. Claude, I will put this question to you both. What is the #1 concern that your committee expects a Cameroon government to look into? Quelle est cette chose que vous aimeriez que le gouvernement camerounais engage pour les membres du diaspora camerounais? Similarly, they're not there. Okay.
Bon, je vais commencer à répondre. Moi, on veut s'asseoir à Paris. On veut s'asseoir à Paris pour que la diaspora pose ses problèmes ensemble. Donc, on ne peut pas venir maintenant, on veut poser les problèmes ensemble, dire que nous voulons que le gouvernement fasse ceci, fasse cela. Donc, je pense que ça veut dire qu'on a ce qu'on appelle, we are wrong.
Okay.
From the beginning.
Okay, I get it. So, what this is going to be an outcome of the conference?
No, the outcome will be to work together.
Okay.
To work with Cameroonians together with the government. We can't work aside the government. The government is running the country. We can't work with somebody else. We have to come together as a Cameroonian living abroad and work together with the government to sort out our problem. Because we have a problem in the diaspora. A lot of Cameroonians living in the diaspora, they don't have passport. Why they don't have passport? They are Cameroonians. Why? We have a lot of problems we have to sort first, the diaspora. Now, see how we can work together with the government to boost our country, develop our country, to contribute to build our country. I think that is our aim in Paris. Our aim is not to say, okay, me, Mr. Banameck, I want this, I want that for the government. No. As a group, what do we need for who will be there next year, the year after, and so on? That's our problems. Our problem is not individual problem. It's a...
OK. Dr. Claude, vous avez quelque chose à ajouter?
Oui, pour ce que dit notre coordinateur général, je voudrais juste dire que les Camerounais de la diaspora représentent nous considérons un peu que nous sommes la 11e région et nous voulons fonctionner comme une communauté de gens qui apportent un président des États-Unis avait l'habitude de dire aux Américains, ne vous pas ce que l'Amérique a fait. Demandez-vous d'abord la doctrine du Monroe. Nous voulons dire ce que le Cameroun a fait pour nous, nous nous demandons pour le Cameroun. Merci.
Okay, you're asking what you've done for Cameroonians. Are there some key expectations? Because you're going to be dialoguing to create a reconciliation, and you are the head of this reconciliation. We talk about national reconciliation. What do we expect from you? Because you are the one to do the presentation. National reconciliation is from which dimension?
You see, when we talk about reconciliation, it is after making our mea culpa to notice that Cameroonians at this point in time have been so divided and than ever before in the diaspora. It has never happened like that. And when we say we want Cameroonians to come and reconcile, we are calling Cameroonians of all shades of opinion to really come and sit down and talk to ourselves and find out where it hurts, because the various groupings in the diaspora have a different perception of the other group. You will never have an opinion of somebody without understanding somebody, without sitting with that person and talking to that person first, face to face. And it is based on that we think that this tense atmosphere, this divisive, filthy language that is existing amongst Cameroonians in the diaspora can be eradicated when we sit together, all of us, people from all shades of opinion, and then we look ourselves in the mirror and say, where did I go wrong? What did I do right? And so on and so forth. But if everybody sits in her own corner and starts saying that, oh yes, we are Anglophone Cameroonians, we voted to be part of Cameroon, without talking to see why the Francophone Cameroonians are thinking differently. Oh, we are Bamileke, we are Bassa, we are this. Cameroonians have been in the diaspora, they have lost this Cameroonianness that used to exist, and now people only exist in their small Njangi groups or their village groupings. So it is time for us to sit down and find out what is happening. But if we let things happen the way they are happening now, without talking to ourselves, without talking to each other, some people with the lot of stigmatization that is happening out there in the diaspora, some people will end up never coming to this country. So, and we have proofs and we have mechanisms that we can use and pressure the government to make sure that this amnesty that we are talking about is real. And we have concrete examples. We have people who are living out of the country, who have come to the country. So one of the demonstrations that we are going to be doing in Paris is we are going to be showing them mechanisms and way how to get back to Cameroon, belong to Cameroon, and then let's see how collectively, as Luc just said, collectively as diasporans with our different political views can come out with something and then lobby for something and get something. You want to understand that the whole thing, they say if you don't do politics, politics will do you. And the whole problems that we have in the diaspora has something to do with the internal and the external politics of this country. It also has to do with the way we in the diaspora have been conducting ourselves. So if our strategies have not yielded the strategies of the past have not yielded the required fruit, it will be right for us to sit down and say, okay, where did we go wrong and how do we correct these errors of the past? How do we reconcile ourselves with our nations and with our nation and our actions of the past? I strongly believe that if we sit down and have that conversation, then we'll come out from this meeting in Paris as a very strong or a stronger diaspora than ever before. So,
Mr. Luc, some persons who are watching in Cameroon are asking how is it how it is going to be possible for them to follow up the discussion or participate. It is an issue strictly for the diaspora members, but can people in Cameroon follow up with what is happening on the 9th and the 10th of December 2023?
Of course, it's around the world dialogue. You have, like tonight, I've spoken with Cameroonian from St. Petersburg, Russia. You have Cameroonian in Singapore. They will be linked through online website. Everyone around the world speaks to us that day. In the last day, we give the link. Now we are trying to make the before 9th of December. Everyone can follow up online on the 9th and the 10th. We will be giving things next week. And at the moment, we are trying to set up the link properly in order to be very reliable for everyone around the world. Now they can as well contribute whatever way they are around the world. We put all our adverts online, can send your contribution intellectually, even financially, because we don't have any money from nobody. We are trying to act and help finance or elect. That time, that's why in the last day we will give a link where you can be with us. Patients. Even if you want to intervene, you have to speak with the CTO that day, and we will give you the chance to speak with other Cameroonians around the world. A lot of Cameroonians at the moment, we have like 800 Cameroonians who want to participate. Those who want to participate in France, here are around 400. But those who want to participate free online bookings, there are more than 900. And that's why we will make that day to be the future of Cameroon.
Okay, we are going to be ending this discussion at this juncture. Dr. Claude, sûrement vous avez un dernier mot pour les Camerounais ce soir, avant de nous quitter. Ok, Ok, Simingli.
C'est moi?
Oui, oui, allez-y.
Ah non, il y a le docteur Lecan qui est là, donc il peut répondre, parce que j'ai...
Allô, is docteur there? Docteur, on va se quitter d'ici 3 minutes. Est-ce que vous avez un mot pour les Camerounais qui sont au Cameroun et ceux de la diaspora? Doctor is not there, but Mr. Mr. Luke, who is the general coordinator, are you confirming that everything is okay? You are even announcing that you have 400 registered members for a location that can only take 200, hoping that you get space that can take everybody. But certainly you have one last word for Cameroonians in Cameroon and those that are watching across the world.
Yeah, of course, like they can say, what I'm trying to say to Cameroonians, they have to help us to make that day to be successful. Every Cameroonian have to contribute, or financially or intellectually, sending us like, what do you think about? You gave 6 topics, and that different topics you can contribute about those topics and tell us what do you think about, for example, young people, women, about our economic development and so forth. That's why we are open. We are open because it's the Cameroonian matters, it's the Cameroon things, and for everyone. Whatever way you are around the world, you can come here.
Okay, it is for all Cameroonians. If you want to get in touch with the organizers of this conference, if you're living out of Cameroon, you can get to me. I will connect you to them. Paddy Asanga, thank you for coming. And you are leaving Cameroon very shortly to be part of this dialogue. Yes,
Leo, you see, there is reciprocity in thanking each other. And I'm very, very proud, and I will not stop saying that. I'm proud to be one of your consistent panelists when it comes to the life of this country and what is happening in and out of Cameroon. Yes, it's rather unfortunate. It saddens me that we have to part, but that is life. I'll be leaving tomorrow. And then on the 9th, I would be in Paris to assist in this conference. So I think that we should dialogue with ourselves also, and why not an Anglophone, intra-Anglophone dialogue? That's what I've been saying. And you see, this one is talking about Cameroonians living in the diaspora. The people of Bui should sit among themselves and find out why are they killing themselves, who is responsible for what, how do we move forward, how far have we gone, can we take stock and make sure that we re-strategize, and some mistakes have been made, what are our achievements. These are some of the things that we are going to sit down in the diaspora, take stock of it, and then we reconcile ourselves and maybe look for other means to mount pressure on this hyper-centralized Jacobinist government that is seated in Yaoundé. You know, I strongly contest the form of state, and it is my political opinion, it is my political right, it is even in the manifesto of my political party that I contest them. But then they are the de facto government, because I've started reading some derogatory commentaries coming from people who are commenting on BT Media Facebook page. One of them, I think, is somebody who is related to me from my village. Sure. I'm just trying to tell the person that my father was, I'm who my father was. So if you recognize that my father did great things, no, I'm walking in his footsteps, and I have my father's testament. And the testament of my father is one Cameroon. My father never opted that these countries should be separated. Neither my uncles, who all of them were politically very, very sound-minded or had very sound brain. So if you think that I'm walking opposite to my father, then you better ask your own father, who is telling you where you should go, and you come and sit here and replace me. Do come and take this space where I'm sitting and teach our Cameroonians, tell them the way forward. Don't tell me that you knew my father and I'm walking opposite, going on the opposite side of my father. No, it doesn't work like that, my friend. If you think that Leo is not, what Leo is doing is not good, come and take this space and do it better. If you think that what Paddy Asanga is not good enough for you, come and do it better. It is easy to sit there and just be throwing derogatory commentary. But one thing I want to tell you people is that we Cameroonians of the diaspora will start a conversation amongst ourselves as it was started in this country. When we will have spoken to every Cameroonian, we will have a common front that will present to Mr. Biya's government. That's how it works. But if you go divided, you lose. And we Anglophone, it is also an accountability that has been made for the past, how many years? 7 years. During these 7 years where crises have been rocking the Anglophone regions of Cameroon. What is coming out of there? We have not spoken to ourselves. And if tomorrow they still call us that there is another dialogue, we are not prepared because we have not sat together to agree on anything.
Okay,
so
Paddy.
That is it, Mr.
Okay.
Liu. Thank you for having me. And thanks, everybody. Thanks to my media prime. I hope that next time that I'll be in Cameroon, I will have some time again to be received here.
Thank you very much, Paddy Asanga, for coming, and to you, Mr. Luke Banameck, who is the Coordinator General of what is going to be taking place out there in Paris, and to you, Dr. Claude Lekang, who is the President of the Commission for Security and the Crisis Management. We want to thank you all who accepted our invitation to bring this information to the knowledge of Cameroonians. We want to thank you also, all who took time off to watch this edition of the program. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Very much.